Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, as well as my friends at yarnspirations.com. This is the social media program. In today's episode, we're talking about your competitors. When you come and join the people on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and etc., we have a tendency to come into this industry and look at as everybody as that we need to start kicking ass and taking some numbers. And the fact is that truly the competitor is yourself. When I first joined YouTube back in 2008, I did what everybody tends to do. You come onto the platform or the scene and you say, I want to start kicking ass, and you start creating goals and that you want to take this person out, this person, and this person. And I maintained that thing for about a year until I clued in that really the competitor is myself. The expectation of what you are creating is really coming down to yourself. And so you have to start developing your community one person at a time. And the better of the community that you do it, the more that it will exponentially increase. Now, a lot of people come into this industry and they start with zero and they want to be 1 million by a certain number. And then they want this and that. And then they want to kind of make sure that they leave other mainstream competitors in the dust. The fact is that you don't need to do that. There's space for everybody. And people that know me well know that I always quote that, is that you are the competitor to yourself. So one of the things that I think that you can make a mistake on is that you pit your community against another community on giving information that may or may not be accurate about another competitor to sway people to join your community instead of somebody else's. The fact is that if your community is great on its own, you don't need to do that, because people will automatically gravitate towards communities that they feel like they belong. It could be argued that major creators like me do not help smaller creators in order to get started. There's a truth to that. But the fact is that I've been doing this since 2008, and I have learned some pretty hard lessons along the way. And I think sometimes those lessons, at least in my case, are the platform to which builds character, but also you realize what happens when you make a mistake. So if somebody like me were to come along and give you all the life goals on don't do this, do this, do this, do this, you can bypass all of those lessons. But then once you're faced with those particular conflicts, because you have not built up on the lessons that you should have learned that may have not been in your favor, you can literally get yourself more into serious trouble in that way. The other mistake that you may feel is that you may feel, because you've come onto the scene, people like me will come along and say, oh my God, there's somebody new, I better start kicking ass and taking numbers. Myself, I don't do that. Because there is space for everybody and I don't have that competitive edge in that manner, I don't pay attention to other YouTube hosts here on the channel. And the reason for it is that I do not want that host to inspire me to do things differently, because I want to move with my community in response to my community. So the community was looking for some kind of information or some kind of tool or a resource or a pattern or whatever. When I hear directly from my community, it makes more of an impact for me personally to be able to be motivated to do it, versus going on to another channel and say, hey, by the way, they're doing really good with this particular concept, I should do it too. You know what? I'd probably be a lot more popular if I would get into crochet clothing, but it's not something that I'm interested in. So I could literally build up in a different direction if I was really truly that competitive, but I want to stay true to what I want to teach and also what my community needs. And I know that for my community, if I'm not going to teach the clothing, they are going to find other hosts or other designers that will be able to fill in that need. It doesn't mean that I'm giving away people, it just means that we're sharing. Because I'm in the crochet field, we have a very small community, relatively speaking. So a lot of us share the same community members. And in fact, in my analytics behind the scenes, we have more followers that follow Bag of Day, Crochet Crystal, than any other platform. So Crystal and I share that same momentum of users on YouTube in order to help people. So for me to put myself against Crystal when she holds her own water and she has her own flavor and her community loves her, for me to go against her with like that does not make any sense, because we share the same community members. And like Crystal would probably say to you, is that there's enough space for everybody. So you have to do what's true to yourself, but don't come on this community or the platform or to the any other social media platforms thinking that you need to steal community members away from another. People would gravitate towards what they love. And the other thing that I will tell you is that if you build your community too fast, you are most likely going to fail faster. You want to go in increments of a nice steady incline versus a huge incline like this, because if you start growing like this, you will come down just as equally fast. So you want to have momentum, but you don't want to be to the point where you're starting to boost really to the ceiling, and then because at the end of the ceiling, you end up getting fall down. So you just want to be progressive and be patient, and you know what, just treat everybody with respect as much as you can, and you will get thrown under the bus, I'm sure, by a few competitors. But if you stay true to what you believe and how you perform things on YouTube and any other platform, then really at the end of the day, that's really what you got to remember. And I know for myself, it's very hard to stay off the comments, and it's very hard not to get into a pissing match with other creators. But you know what? You just got to do the best you got to do and just hope for the best. And if you create negativity, you should expect to get negativity in return. That's the end of the line.